Hello, listeners, and welcome to Dental Drill Bits. I'm Sandy Pardue, and I'm here today with Dana Salisbury.
Hello.
And our special guest, Justin Morgan from the Dental Marketing Guide.
Hey, Justin.
Now, we're here in Las Vegas at the Dentaltown meeting, otherwise known as the Townie meeting. And we've been having a lot of fun. This is the fourth day we've been here. It's the third day of the meeting. And we are just thrilled to be able to have Justin share some great information with us on SEO.
Yeah,
there's so much to know, right?
There are some things to know. Yeah, absolutely.
That's excellent. So, okay, well, tell me about what you do.
Well, a lot of my focus, and this is very different from other SEO companies, because you may hear about SEO and say, well, what is SEO? What do you actually do?
Yeah.
So the first thing is I actually teach dentists what I'm doing. We're actually transparent. And we say in non-technical jargon, here's what we're doing. Here's why it's worked in the past. Here's why we think it'll work for you. And so essentially, when we're talking about SEO, we're talking about a foot race. If you have 10 dental offices in town that are willing to spend a lot and invest a lot of energy and do a lot of buzz and PR and SEO, and they're really into it, then it's kind of like being in the Olympics. You know, if you're trying to go for a keyword like Charlotte dentist, Anchorage dentist, Miami dentist, that's a different game than Timbuktu in Idaho, where there's 2 dental offices, right? So one of the things that I do that's really totally different is I call it scoping your keywords. And that's where you really get into how many people are actually searching for a dentist in your area. Because until you have the answer to that question, SEO doesn't mean anything.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So basically what I do is I'll tell you, in about 1 out of 10 times, I turn the dentist away. We agree mutually, like, hey, SEO is not the path of least resistance for you. You need to look at something else. And so that's kind of something that separates me is I'm not actually pushing SEO. I'm teaching it and then allowing the dentist to make a decision. Hey, I understand this. I can do this. Would you do it for me? A lot of times, usually they say, would you do it for me? But at least you understand what you're getting. So scoping your keywords, we basically look at, it could be dentist your city dentist. If they want to get all on 4s, we might do different set of keywords. And we see how many people are searching. Based on my experience and depending on the quality of the website. So if you have a really, really good call rate from your website, if you got a nice video, you got good photography, it says all the right things, and people know, like, and trust you, you're going to have a higher conversion rate, right? So we try to do an educated guess, and we say, well, you know what, if there's 1,000 people per month searching, let's say, in my experience, that usually means about 20 new patients per month. And obviously, one set of patient is different from another. So a Delta Dental, how much is a cleaning patient, is different from an all-on-4 case, right? So it's really about trying to figure out, I call it scoping your keywords. So figuring out, what does SEO actually mean to you? Because until you know, you're really just flying blind. So that's the number one thing. And I don't know if that answers your question, but that's the very first step in SEO, is actually not even just, oh yeah, sign up for whatever, And that's how most dentists do it. They're like, well, everyone charges anywhere from $300 to $1,000 a month, and so that's what it costs. But what's it? What is it?
So it sounds to me like you're actually teaching these doctors how to do this moving forward. Was that?
Yes.
Okay.
And the main focus is, a lot of people can design a website that is Google ready. It's Google compliant with Google Webmaster Tools, and it's got the content on there, and a lot of people can do that. There's a lot of SEO companies. But not what a lot of SEO companies are doing is what's called link building. And link building, everybody talks about it. If you Google it, I know the people who are on page 1 for backlinks and link building and all this stuff, and they come on my show and they talk about how do you build links. And so links essentially are when another website links to your website, it's something that Google notices. And you might say, well, why does that matter? Why does it matter that another website links to yours? And why does it matter the authority of that website? And the way I explain it like this, it's called the Invisilinks method. And it's a system about how to get others to link to your website. So it's a whole strategy. And essentially the reason why it works is because Google's algorithm is made up of PhDs. And those PhDs went to college. And when they went to college, they wrote essays. And if they made any bold claims in their essays and they didn't cite an authoritative source, that essay was not as good as an essay that did cite its sources. So obviously, outbound linking is very important because when you're writing a blog post and you cite authoritative sources, look at Wikipedia. Wikipedia is really successful because they cite all their sources. It's credible. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So that's what is called the hilltop algorithm. That's what Google does to make sure that you're an expert, that you actually aren't just making something up.
Yeah.
For instance, I might say on my blog, like 88% of people read Google reviews. Well, I could say that, but maybe I'm blowing smoke.
Right. Right.
So what I do is I link to an authoritative source. I don't link to Joe Blow. I link to something real. And so when you can become that something real, when your dental website is the informational resource, when it becomes the authority by which Dentistry Today, Dentaltown.com, Dentistry IQ, Dental Economics, and 100 other dental blogs, when they're linking to you as an informational resource, it tells Google, wow, people are writing these essays and they cite Dr. Hansen, Dr. Farr. These people are worth citing. Of course, we're going to bump them up in the search results.
Makes sense.
So interesting. Wow. Okay. So, and backing up from there, you said something. Well, first off, I do want to interject, just kind of an open parentheses, if you will. Speaking of dental websites, obviously before they work with you, I mean, we want to get their website up to par. And one of my pet peeves is you go, I mean, even business. There's even a restaurant down the street from us that we love, okay? Goodwood Grill. The best shrimp po' boys in town, hands down. You can't eat there on Friday. There's no parking spot. So, I mean, it's insane. So, unless you want lunch at 9:30, then whatever. So, but guess what? I went onto their website. I thought, you know what? It's Monday. They're not going to have as big of a crowd. I want lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call. I'm going to have someone go pick it up. I go to their website, pull up the menu. Guess what? No phone number anywhere. And I'm like, okay. So I open up another window, go to a Google search of, you know, what their phone number is. And I'm like scrolling. I'm like, I cannot find this phone number. So please, listeners, have your phone number on your website. It should be at the very top because, I mean, gosh, if they're going to work with you and spend the dollars with you, I mean, they surely need to be able to have some sort of interaction with the practice or your dollars are wasted.
Right.
So do you build websites?
I do, yeah. And so the main focus is, even if I got you to the top of Google, and with the veil scoping of your keywords, I line it out. I lift the veil. I say, it's not just, oh, these practices are ranking on Google. Why? Why are they ranking on? How did they do that? How did they get there? And we lift the veil on that, and then we say, well, you know what? Maybe something like having their name, address, and phone number in all the right places.
Right.
You know, that can be part of it. So, yeah, it is absolutely critical that even if I get you ranked, that doesn't mean your phone's going to ring. So I'm not really in the SEO business. I just use that. That's a great way to get new patients. I'm in the new patients business.
Right.
I'm trying to make the phone ring.
Right.
You know.
So tell us, how do you make the phone ring? In what ways? What are the steps? If there's a top 2 things that you could do, or 3 things.
Okay. Other than getting to the top of Google, I think the next thing to stay ahead of the curve is video, professional video. You got to have a professional cinematographer. There's a number of them. I do it in-house with my videographer, and there's a couple others that are really good. And that's kind of the next thing. So photography is huge.
So you're talking about putting that on the website?
Yeah. Yeah. So photography is huge. Like if you do custom professional photography, but a lot of people are doing that. You know, most dentists have stock photography on their website, which is a no-no. But as time progresses, the way to really stand out is to take it a step further. Not only do great professional photography, but video as well.
That's right. People want to know you and your team. They want to know what the facility looks like. Gosh, even if it's a sign, a picture of the sign out front. I mean, people
it gives them a personal connection.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And telling that story is huge. Why did you become a dentist? How did you become a dentist? And then
That's
I've got, and then I've got that, at the time of airing, I've got the Dentistry IQ article that's about to come out about some questions that you can ask, and maybe we could link to that in the show notes for later.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
But questions you can ask, 6 questions to ask patients. They got to be veteran patients. They got to be with you for a while, and you will get the world's most credible video testimonial. And that is way better than any Google
So
review.
videos of maybe the doctor and staff, and videos of testimonials from the patients.
Yes. So the
Well, a lot of people do not do that,
Yeah.
and I do see the value.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So go ahead.
Well, there's 2 camps. There's one that says you should only do it professionally. You should only pay a whole bunch of money. And I think that's true for the introductory video. But for your patient testimonials, those are just going to happen. Flip open your iPhone. It's free, and record them. It's more credible.
You know, a lot of staff are uncomfortable asking for that. Do you have any tips?
Yes. Those, when you ask these 6 questions, it first of all, let me take you through the journey is it starts with the objection. It starts with, what was the one thing that would prevent you from choosing us as a dentist? So the testimonial actually starts with the negative, because it's identifying the problem. Because when someone's on your website and they say, okay, I'm checking out for dentists, they don't want the sugary, it's like, oh yeah, Dr. Farr's so great and he's always been great and I've never had a problem. And it's like, man, okay, sure. But what if you're like, hey, let me tell you, I was really reluctant. I Googled for a dentist. I didn't know what I was looking for. I was really scared because when I was a kid, I had my teeth pulled and it was a horrible experience. And you know what? Dentists are expensive. And that's how we refer in real life. We go, hey, you know that kind of seedy looking restaurant? Well, let me tell you something. It's a hole in the wall, but it is some dang good food.
Yes, right.
Right?
I see. So that
Yeah.
seems real.
Yes.
It seems real.
Yes. And then throughout the 6 questions, you eventually bring it into, the core issue. They identify what the core issue is for them. So whatever the objection was for them, it might have been price, it might have been something else, but you basically construct a testimonial rather than, and that's why people don't like to give testimonials. They sit on it, and then that happiness is worn off 3 weeks later when they write that Google
They're not
review.
hot. They're not hot anymore.
No.
So whenever the patient expresses something like satisfaction with a practice or with a procedure, that's the time to jump on it.
Yes. And I'll get you these 6 questions, and basically it starts with the objection.
So we're going to post those 6 questions in the link of this
we'll do
podcast.
that. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And one thing that I see people also go wrong is maybe they have a patient testimonial, and well, first off, they could go wrong by not getting it on video. So get it on video.
Right.
Put it not only on your website, but your Facebook, and blog it. And isn't it true that if I have multiple testimonials for patient experiences on a blog, will that also build the optimization?
It will, and it will especially build the conversions, which is, huge. So basically, the way Google works is you have to get to the top to stay at the top.
Yeah.
But what you're describing is the reason why people stay at the top.
Yeah.
Once you get there,
And how
that's why.
about with Facebook connecting to all this?
Oh, well, it's, I'm not a Facebook expert, but definitely, those videos can be used. You can boost them. You can retarget people who have been on your website.
Oh, that's a good idea.
See, but this is the
I
thing.
like that.
This is one of the best tips that I've learned. Someone told me never post anything on Facebook without a direct link to your website. What are you trying to do?
That makes sense.
You're converting people. They get to your website, they are much more likely to buy.
Yes.
Facebook is like, get to know you, having fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the first date, and then, okay, let's get engaged.
That makes sense.
Get to the website. Literally get engaged. So,
Right.
Get them to there. They will buy. So include that link on there, and then they're going to convert. It's just another way to convert them
Yes.
to the buyers. So, so something like landing pages. Do you build landing pages for these campaigns?
Yes, and depending on what the message is, depending on what the ad is, the landing page should match.
Yeah.
So a lot of times the homepage is the best landing page. Like on Google, usually the homepage for dentists your city. But one thing I'll say about that is Facebook, it's like any other platform that you have no control over. I say don't build your house on rented land. So bring them, absolutely, that link,
Move
bring
them
them,
over.
bring them back.
Yeah.
Keep bringing them back. Get them on an email drip if you can, if you've
Yes.
got really good content, because that's guaranteed. So Facebook, you know, it used to be you could reach all your fans. Now you got to pay to reach them. So people were surprised by that, but it's not surprising. It's their platform.
Yeah.
They're going to charge you. So it's rented land, so to speak. Now, not that you shouldn't do that, because you got to go where the audience
Part of
is.
the mix.
Pull them back in.
Yeah.
But once they get there, keep them happy.
Yeah, website is everything. So, well, tell us about services. Like, what do you do? So you said, like you were saying earlier in the podcast, not everyone necessarily is a candidate. I mean, this is quite the commitment that they're making, but
Yeah.
it certainly does pay off
Yeah.
when it's a good fit.
Absolutely. And the ROI is astronomical.
Yeah.
Right now, the biggest thing I've got going on is I have the first and only dental SEO course. I call it the Invisalign Method course.
So it's this actual course that teaches them what they need to do.
A step-by-step video course with short videos under 10 minutes. You can watch just 2 or 3 of them a week. And then by the end of the first week, you know how to choose an SEO company. You know exactly how SEO works. By the 4th or 5th week, you're able to have your dental assistant do this. There's no technical jargon. There's no meta tag this, keyword that. It's just real world talk about what Google's trying to do, what searchers want, matching searcher intent and the psychology of what people need to see on your website, just how to get people to call you.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this. So it's a course that's going to teach them how to do SEO themselves, or they still need to hire
To
someone?
find the right SEO company.
Well, they can do it themselves. The thing is, most docs want to just do dentistry.
That's true.
So for those docs that do want DIY, absolutely, you do it, and it's 100%. And we have a Facebook group, a secret Facebook group called the Invisalign support group, is what I'm calling
It's
it.
not secret anymore.
Well, well, you can't find it. You can't find it if you search for it.
You
Yeah.
can't find it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's invite only by me.
I
No,
see.
not even the
Okay.
current member can
I
invite
hear
you.
that.
So
So
you,
what does your course cost? What does something like that cost?
right now it's $499, and the Facebook group will eventually go to a monthly fee, probably something like $49 a month.
And that Facebook group's like giving information all the time, feeding them.
One-on-one. If you're stuck, if you need a connection, I can introduce you to an editor at Dentistry Today or whatever. If you've got thought leadership, if you've got anything clinical, see, here's the reason why I'm starting this group. I can't write about clinical things. So if we want to write articles about clinical things and earn links to your website, you have to be the one to do that.
Right. That's right.
So if you want to write about frenectomies or all on 4 or occlusion or whatever, I'm lost. I can't write it, but you can, and I can get you placed, and I can get you the link.
Ah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Sounds like you're the guy to know. Especially for the secret group.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys. Let's face it. The internet is everything now. That's the best marketing.
Yeah.
And if you're
It's
not playing the game, you're losing.
Yeah. You
Every
you
day.
just gotta be in it. You gotta
That's right.
start
Yeah.
somewhere.
So what's the biggest mistakes you see practices make in regards to this?
Oh, hands down, pay and pray. The pay and pray model.
Pay and pray. I
Not-
like that. Please,
Pay
please,
and
please,
pray.
please,
Yeah,
work.
please work. I just put a lot of money into it. So,
And
okay.
probably not sticking with it.
Well,
Or
if
is
it's
that
not,
okay.
well, if it's not working, it's not working. So why continue to pay $700 a month when you should be paying $2,000 a month and actually getting real results?
Yeah.
That $700 a month adds up. So if you stick with that for a year, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
Whereas you could just pay for 1 or 2 months with me and
That's
get
exactly-
immediate results
Right.
and know that it's working.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And you see the results. And the phone
Yeah.
rings.
yeah,
And you know that patients are coming in that would not have been coming before.
Yeah. right.
So that's
And it's
important.
it's real. I mean, the links that I'm building, you want to show them off to people. You want to be like, look where I got mentioned on Dental Products Report. Like I got quoted.
So
you know?
let me just, just something I want to make sure I understand. So dentists would write articles, and what'd you say about Dentistry Today?
So there's 2 ways to do it. There's the full service, and that's where I go in and I write about SEO, I write
Got
about
it.
marketing, I write about
Right.
patient attraction.
Yes.
And then I will find and this gets a little bit in the weeds if you want to, is I have to have a really good reason. The editor, the publisher, that media outlet needs to have a good reason to link out. It needs to support what's happening. It needs to support the article. It needs to make sense it needs to be clear why you're linking. That's part of the Invisilinks method. It needs to be clear.
So there's a clinical article, like from one of these other websites, Dentistry Today, Dental Products Report, or something like that, and you can link that article over to
like say you
private practice.
Yes, but now not just to the homepage, even though that's great. You might write up a blog post, or if it's full service, I'll write the blog post and then talk about supporting details like polls, data, case studies. You can show photographs of different.
See, I find that very interesting. I like that. I think that's, a lot of people aren't aware of things like that. So you can hook them up with those articles.
Yes.
That's got a lot of value to it. So is there anything else you'd like to share with listeners? These are dentists that need help with SEO. I mean, is there some mistakes other than that you see that maybe they can benefit from?
Aside from SEO, well, there's so many pitfalls in SEO. So I would almost want to.
They need a professional to help them.
Well, you at least need to understand what you're getting, and that's the point of the course. I think this course is just launching, but I think probably half of the dentists will do it themselves, maybe a little bit less. Most of the dentists will either hire me or another company, and they'll know what they're getting. So you can prevent from. It's very much like dentistry. You really don't know if your dentist did a good crown or not until later.
Right.
So what we want to do is we want to prevent that.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Would you mind telling the listeners how they can reach you if they're interested in learning more about your services or just taking you on right away?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you can go to dentalmarketingguy.com. If you Google dental SEO course or anything like that, I'm right there at the top, number one. Right now I'm ranked number one on Google for dental SEO expert. So
of course you are.
Impressive. Nice.
Yeah. So, it works for me as well. So I write these articles. I link to you. We see your rankings go up. I link to me in the same articles. We both see our rankings go up. We both benefit, and it's great for everyone. So yeah, dentalmarketingguy.com. I got a blog where I feature experts like Sandy, which is amazing. I'm very blessed to have a lot of people doing guest posts and appearing on my show. So, it's a great resource.
You can also find him at dentaltown.com.
That's right.
Yes,
That's right.
Marketing guy.
Pretty much in the marketing section of the place.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, listeners, thank you for joining us today. Please look for future podcasts coming from Dental Drill Bits.
Bye.